On behalf of the Department of Information Technology and Electrical Engineering, it is my pleasure to welcome you to today's Master's ceremony. My name is Sebastian Kozerki. I'm currently serving as the Director of Studies, and along with the team, the PR team, we are very happy to guide you through today's event. We started off with music by Musique en route, a rapid musical ride over hills and dales with Eastern influence, I assume. And we're fortunate to have you here. Thank you very much for your company, and we look forward to a few more pieces you will present. Well, I would like to welcome you all, our graduates, but I also would like to extend my welcome to your relatives, your friends and families. You are most welcome here, and it's a delight to see this auditorium fully packed, which is not a given that the pandemic is just shortly behind us, and we taught in front of empty seats. So it's great to see you here. Thank you very much. Now, you are now graduates of ETH, and you can be very proud. You can be very proud of your achievements. You're now engineers that are dearly needed by the economy, by academia, but also by the society at large. And that's very much in sync with the theme that ETH is based on. It was founded back in 1855 to educate engineers for the growing economy at that time. It is these days one of the world-leading universities. It's number one on continental Europe, or in continental Europe, if you wish. So that excludes the UK. Now, it's a place to study, a place to research for more than 26,000 staff, students, PhD students, postdocs, and so forth. They come from very different nationalities, different countries. 130 is listed here. And we can be very proud of you. We can be very proud of what ETH has achieved over these many years. Excellent education is what we strive for. And certainly, we would like to give back to the society, given that the financial foundation is in the hands of the Swiss taxpayers. So thank you, Swiss taxpayers, for allowing us to study here, to research here, and to welcoming you here today. Now, another sign of the success of ETH is probably this long list of Nobel Prize winners. I don't read them, but I should mention that two of these gentlemen did research literally 10 meters away from us here. Does anyone know who that could be? Well, I'll tell you. Albert Einstein had his office essentially next door in the old Felix Villa, and Wolfgang Pauli did his research here, and that was in the very location where our ETZ building is today. So the old physics villa was ripped down, and our ETZ building was erected, and many of you spent countless hours in the lobby of ETZ to study, to chat, to communicate. All right, so we are very proud to celebrate 230 graduates today. And these 230 graduates consist of 137 that got their masters in electrical engineering, information technology, 45 that who obtained their masters in biomedical engineering, 37 who got their masters in energy science and technology, and then 11 from our newly born child, so to speak, from quantum engineering. So congratulations at this point already. Now, 20% of the graduates are women, and you see how this distributes across the different master programs. You come from 23, or you are of 23 nationalities, and 43 students are from abroad. And that's certainly different to the old days when ETH was founded. So we now are very international, we are very diverse these days, and we are very proud of the fact. Now, it says 140 registered. If I start counting, so there are many more here. So again, very warm welcome to all the relatives, friends, and family members. Over the course of the study, so you met our faculty, our professors, now counting 43, and I hope some of you have fond memories of their studies in the first year. Johan Kohler teaching systems and circuits and networks and circuits. Then in the second year, Lukas Novotny challenging you with electromagnetic waves and fields. And then before the COVID pandemic struck, you had probably a chance to talk to many of us in person, face-to-face, and here, as seen with Professor Gabriela Hug from the Power Systems Laboratory, talking in front of a whiteboard. And then many others took the famous and very popular embedded systems class. Here, Lothar Thiele, Professor Lothar Thiele, chatting and discussing in front of a blackboard. Now, also, before the pandemic started, there were chances to meet in more private settings. Professor Vanessa Wood, here in a round with female students, talking about her research, but also perhaps other aspects of life. Now, Vanessa Wood, as many of you know, is a very valued member of the ETH School Board, so we only have half of her with us these days, and many times it's probably less than half because she's so busy in the school board. Now, during classes, it probably looked like this. Hopefully, you showed your fellow students the latest, greatest app, disregarding what is currently discussed by the lecturer in front of you. Then the breaks we consider very important, and that's something we really dearly missed during the COVID pandemic. So exchanging eye to eye at eye level, and really discussing some issues one may have, and discussing the science that you're being taught about. Now, hopefully, many of you ended many days with a smile, and then, of course, you took the chances in between classes to discuss in more details, perhaps the math that you didn't quite get, or the lecturer didn't really portray correctly. Then some others, they figured out ways of ruminating and digesting the content of class. And I find this one very intriguing, so that's a very particular way of digesting the script. Right? No matter which way you studied, certainly when the lab classes started, you were awake. For the RoboCup, as seen here, the RoboCup organized by the Automatic Control Lab. You studied systems and circuits using all sorts of gadgets, very expensive tools. You visited the clean room facility. You saw electromagnetic fields in action. You played around with superconductivity. And you probably also used superconductivity to have strong magnetic fields to do MRI scans. And then some of you had a chance to listen to big bangs. That's why the ear protection in the high voltage lab, led by Professor Christian Frank. So at that time, and at this point here, I would like to stop, because now it's time to present and introduce our guest speaker today. So let me say a few words about him. So we are very honored to have Professor Emeritus Gianluca Bona with us today. He obtained his PhD in physics from ETH in 1987, and then moved on to do research at the IBM Research Laboratories near Zurich and Richicon. Continued further his career in IBM in San Jose, California, studying materials that were needed at a time in the semiconductor industry, and then further climbed up the ranks to become the director of the tape storage solution division of IBM in Tucson, Arizona. And that was, I think, in 2008, and shortly thereafter, Switzerland called for him to become the new director of the Swiss Institute for Material Science and Technology, or short EMPA. And he has been its director. He was its director until very recently, because Professor Gianluca Bona retired recently. And luckily, before his retirement, we got his okay in agreement to give the speech today, because we are not allowed to ask any retired professors to give a speech. So that agreement was given before his retirement, and we are grateful that you're here today and deliver to your promise. I should also mention he has been a professor, or he was a professor, I should say, with ETH and EPFL in photonics, and he was also a member of the ETH board, so that's our steering assembly that oversees all the ETH institutions, including EPFL and EMPA. So the word is yours. We look forward to your talk, and we thank you very much in advance already for your time as a retired person to be here.
Hello, everybody. Grüezi miteinander. I was asked to speak in at least one German language or Swiss language, and you know we have 5 languages in Switzerland. 4 of them you know, and I won't use them all. And the 5th that I had to learn very hardly during my 13 years at ETH, EMPA, and in the ETH board was die Einsprache. And don't learn that. Always fight against bureaucracy. That's a message I want to give you right from the beginning. I think it's important that you bring your new ideas, your spirit, and you try to come up with new solutions, because that's what we all direly need. But first of all, let me first congratulate you for this big milestone that you all have achieved, and I think you worked hard for it. You took hard work to get there. You have an excellent education now, and now comes a transition into something new. What will you do next? What is the next challenge? Can you create something new with all your knowledge that you have acquired during your whole education? And I kind of feel the same currently. I'm just very old, as you can see from my hair. And I think I vividly recall the time when I was in that position, because we all already had kind of a dual world. The contrast was very similar as we have in this geopolitical situation right now. That when I started with my PhD at Tönkoberg, there was still an iron curtain. And the first conference I went to was Trends in Physics in the Czech Republic. And it was quite a special experience, because I went there and I met for the first time people that were in a different regime. And I was very pleased because I could bridge some gaps, and I got to learn new people there. I got to learn people that I still are involved in and I'm still contacting. And I see that although we are sometimes in different cultures, in different worlds, it can be very rewarding working with people from different cultures. And I think that's something that followed all my career. I've had many people in various geographies during my time in IBM. IBM means I've been moved, so I started in Rüschlikon. Then was in the Bay Area, was in Tucson, Arizona, had people in Guadalajara, was then in Japan, was in Israel, and then back to Switzerland. And for me that was great because it opened up my mind. I got to learn new people. And that's why I'm saying this was a special transition, because I've been exposed to various cultures. I've been exposed to people that were curious, were committed, wanted to create something all over my life, and that was my privilege. And I really hope it will be your privilege as well. I think you should try and aspire to help solving the challenges that we all have. And don't expect this to be a straight path. For me, it was never a straight path. It might not be for you as well. There is serendipity. There are ways. Sometimes things pop up. And if you embark on that journey now, going out from ETH, going to new avenues, always think about what is it that I want to aspire? What is it that I want to achieve? And have a goal, because currently we are facing a very special situation. We are in a very globalized world, and you have seen how quickly a SARS-CoV-2 virus could spread. It never happened so quickly. You see how quickly information goes around, although we have a hard time to handle it in a diligent way. But we are in an environment where we have 8 billion people that have common challenges. And you, with your excellent education, you are the future, and you can try to find ways to solve some of these challenges. And what I meant is really to build bridges. Young people can do that much better than older ones. And building bridges means also working on technologies to solve that we can have on this wonderful planet 8 billion or more people. I'm just reminding you of a few of them: the energy, the CO2, the global warming. That's a big challenge. We all know that we can only solve this together. CO2 doesn't show a passport when it crosses a border, luckily. So understanding the basics of physics and science and engineering is a prerequisite to solve that. And you have that. And another big issue is I see that production technologies all over the world will change dramatically, from subtractive going to additive manufacturing. But keep in mind, whatever you do, you have to work towards a sustainable, human-centric, and resilient industry. Sustainable in the sense that we have circular economies. Sustainable in the sense that it has to solve and help humans to have a better living. And resilient also because we don't want technologies that are, if you nudge them a little bit, getting catastrophic. We have to look at solutions, and I'm sure as a physicist and you as engineers can do this, find solutions that are reliable and help our common goals. So, in other words, always think globally, but act locally to the best knowledge of your aspirations and your possibilities. And for that, always have a little bit polar star that you can follow. Look at your goals, think about what you want to achieve, check your compass, triangulate where you are, and work with your colleagues, your peers, because I think that is the best way to help achieving these common goals that we are all having. And for that, it requires confidence, some faith and truth into aspiring something. Und ich möchte das auch noch auf Deutsch sagen. Es braucht Zuversicht. Zuversicht ist ja die feste innere Überzeugung, dass Dinge sich positiv entwickeln können. Und heute sind wir oft in den Zweifel, ja, was können wir als Einzelner bewirken, wenn wir in die globalpolitische Situation hineinschauen. Und ich bin fest überzeugt, dass man mit der Zuversicht Dinge positiv gemeinsam entwickeln kann und auf die Art wirklich Probleme gemeinsam lösen können, um diese globalisierte Welt für alle lebenswichtiger zusammen zu machen. So please remain passionate and curious to get to the root cause of certain problems that you see coming up. You have an excellent education, and you have the skills to do better. And keep in mind, there is a saying that I learned in the Bay Area all the time: work hard, but play hard. And you're now today in the play phase, but you will soon get back to the work phase. And there is another saying: no pain, no gain, no fun. And unfortunately, it starts with pain. It's not easy to jump to the gain and fun. But if you have had pain and can achieve something, it can be even more rewarding. So take a risk and have the courage also to make failures. don't repeat failures. Shit can happen, but it shouldn't happen twice. Sorry for my German. But that means celebrate success, but celebrate equally well failures, because then you will remember and you will do better next time. And when you do better, you solve problems with your colleagues. And one more thing. Henry Ford, about 100 years ago, said, the most dangerous notion of a young man, today also women, can acquire is that there is no more room for originality. And I do believe to solve today's problems that I just touched upon, you need originality, you need creativity, you need curiosity, and I'm sure that we can solve them together. Now, my colleague just mentioned that there were physicists here on these premises. And I just recall Wolfgang Pauli was mentioned. Wolfgang Pauli was a very special character. Highly intelligent, fermions, Pauli matrices, all the exclusion principle and all that. And they always had once a week a guest seminar speaker. And Pauli was also a very energetic person. And one day they had on the evening the guest seminar speaker writing a formula on the blackboard, because physicists at that time, it was around 1920, were believing we can have a world formula to solve everything, which I think was missing some humbleness. But yes, physicists are not always humble. Look at me. So that guy wrote the world formula, and then Pauli got up and said, no, this can't be true, and he took walked to the blackboard, wiped it out, and corrected it. These guys were fighting for hours. They missed the evening, the dinner together. And yes, years later, Pauli passed away. As physicists go, he went to heaven. So when he arrived there, he said to God, I was right? This is the formula, how it should be. And God mildly smiled and said, no, sorry, it's like this. He got furious and said, no, this can't be true, and they are still fighting up there. That's why we need you. I'm not so religious, as you can see, but we have to work on today's problems together. And we have to solve them as a community in this worldwide environment. And one more thing to learn about this anecdote. Don't believe in people that have high merits. They also make mistakes. High merits are important, it's great, but always try to find out the truth. And another biologist that I know well once said, was lange geglaubt, ist reif für den Zweifel. What has been believed and common knowledge is not always the truth, the final truth. So check whether this makes sense, check this, and it requires some complacencies, it requires always the question of, am I right, am I doing the right thing? And then you will for sure have an impact in your career as scientist, engineer, or whether you go into industry, whether you go into economy. A lot of you might change through serendipity, their path, their career. And that is what we need to solve these problems that we are all having, that we are facing. But as I said, I'm very, very confident that you as young people can make a difference. And I can say that through my PhDs that I had the pleasure to work with, that of course I could give and help them, but they gave me back much more than I could ever imagine. And I think that's what we have to do, building bridges together and trying together to find solutions for today's challenges that we're all facing. Now, today is the day for playing, so celebrate, enjoy your day, and all the very best wishes for your future. Thank you all very much.
Thank you very much. I think we are very grateful for your time here. And given that you probably have some time, unless you say, I don't have any time, well, if you have some time, you get a token of appreciation from us. If you say, no, I don't have time, I take it, right? So then thank you very much.
As you know, I have time because I got rid of some exposures that I had. But of course, I have now AHV, and that means Agenda hure voll. Thank you.
Now, it has become a tradition to ask one of you, or actually two of you, to say something here, so that we ourselves don't have to do all the talking. And the first presenter will be a student, a graduate of ETH, Raphael Schumann. He has had an interesting trajectory already on his paper, on his CV. So he started out with an apprenticeship in banking. So he probably earned a lot of money, or had the prospect of earning a lot of money, but then decided, no, money isn't the world. I do math at ETH. So he came here to get his bachelor in mathematics, and then said, well, no, math, that isn't the world, so I do something else. So I now do my master's studies in biomedical engineering. Well, you may ask, so math, finance, how does it all come together? Well, he will tell us in a minute. I should mention that he's now dashing off to the island, to Cambridge, probably doing a PhD, I assume. And so we are very curious to hear the justification for the jumps in your life, and looking forward to your talk. Over to you, please.
Let me quickly drink something first. Great. Dear everyone, I'm grateful to be able to address some words to you, even though probably only a couple of you, most of all the biomedical engineers, have actually known about me speaking, or even known about me at all. Getting a degree, and for Swiss standards, especially true for a degree from ETH, is a tremendous achievement that every one of us should and can be proud of. However hard we all worked very individually, I'm sure that most of us could count on numerous people behind the scenes that contributed to this success by, for example, keeping our backs free, especially during strenuous exam periods. It is for this reason that I will hold this speech in English, but to switch to Swiss German for a couple of sentences at the very end of it, to make sure that the people that supported me most, in fact, not only during my master's, but during my entire life, can appreciate me standing here. To the international students hailing from all over the world, I hope you learned a bit of German during the last few years. So I've been thinking a lot what I could possibly tell all of you. After all, we are at the same stage of our lives. We have just graduated with a master's, and there is really not that much that distinguishes all of us academically. However, what I find quite interesting instead is how we all got here. And I would like to share with you my own story, how I got to stand here today. So I've always liked going to school. That was too fast. In fact, so much so that since this image was taken, I have nearly never entirely stopped doing so. The only real disappointment that is connected to my early life school career was at age 11, when I learned the hard way that I would still be going to Obersein Elementary rather than to Hogwarts. Because, as you might have guessed, I did not get the letter. On the flip side, reaching age 15, I got to choose whether I wanted to keep going to school full-time or do an apprenticeship. A very unique Swiss invention where you learn a profession by working 3 to 4 days of the week and going to school the remaining days. Coming from a family with a non-academic background, but with a lot of support, independent of my aspirations, and having been keen on numbers but also on communication, I decided to start an apprenticeship in one of the most cliché Swiss professions, in banking. So for 3 years, I worked at Credit Suisse, or by now I have closed my account, just for your information. Suited up most of the days, advising clients on account types, foreign currency trades, the stock market, and calculated whether we can finance the home of their dreams. It was just after the 27-28 financial crisis, and to be honest, being a banker at that time was not the most comfortable position to be in. So in spite of learning a lot about the business world, I soon realized that I'm much too curious to just watch the stock markets crash all day. So I decided to go back from part-time school to full-time school and get my high school diploma that would eventually allow me to go to any Swiss university, ETH included. So I crammed my head with dates of the rise and fall of empires all across the globe, accompanied Shakespeare, Goethe, Dostoevsky on numerous adventures, learned by heart all the 357 plant species that might ever grow in Swiss gardens, learned to draw stones using at least 24 techniques, and memorized all the Latin prepositions that require the usage of the grammatical case called ablativus, which, by the way, are a, ab, ex, decum sine popere in sup. Equipped with with all of this very relevant knowledge, I was simply overwhelmed with the choice of choosing a subject to study at university level. So much so, in fact, that I interposed a gap year in London, giving me enough time to change my mind at least 365 times. However, summer came, and with it, my decision. I set foot into the halls of ETH main building with the decision to get a degree in mathematics. What? Why? I'm sure would be the most common reaction of people sitting here in this room right now. And trust me, I have asked this question many times myself. But to me, it seemed right. Coming from a humanities-centered high school diploma, one of the things I was looking for is pure logic and neat structure. Additionally, I felt that mathematics, for some reason, is like a language as well. A language that enables different scientific disciplines to communicate with each other. Little did I anticipate how hard it would be going to be. In the Basisjahr, the infamous first year at ETH, I studied all day, every day. It was unhealthy for sure. And with my high school diploma that was focusing on Latin and history, I was just like incredibly ill-prepared. It is hence also thanks to my good friend Florian Riedel, who is also among us today, that I made it through the first year at ETH. We pushed each other, motivated each other, and tried to help each other out as best as we could. Danke, Flo. After the Basisjahr, my grades went up and I kept passing exams, which was nice, as you might imagine. However, I was really never hooked. I enjoyed mathematics, its subtlety and coherence, but I never really loved it. Not in the way that I was hoping I would love a subject that I'm taking lectures in every day for 3 years. It was when I started watching videos about life sciences and biology on YouTube in the train on my way to ETH, and I was just fascinated by the processes of DNA, genes, proteins, and would in fact often miss my stop and just keep watching. So for me, this was the trigger point at which I decided that I want to go into biology. Like a maniac, I searched through the ETH degree curriculum to find a program that would bring me where I wanted, taking me as who I am, a semi-happy mathematician. So this was when my dear friend Nuara, also a graduate in the audience today, made me aware of the biomedical engineering degree. I knew that this was the perfect chance for me. A degree that aims at engineers, mathematicians, physicists to apply their expertise to biological and health science-related problems. I can't stress out enough that to me this seemed like a match made in heaven. After finishing my bachelor's, I enrolled for courses on mathematical modeling in biology, as well as basic biology classes. This was meant to be my entry ticket to the most biological track of biomedical engineering, that is molecular bioengineering. As you might have guessed, I got accepted to the program. So the time of my master's flew by extremely quickly. I devoured every word that was spoken in lectures. I learned about genetic engineering, molecular biology, and absolutely loved every bit of it. It all reached a pinnacle when I got the opportunity to join a laboratory at Harvard University in Boston to perform a research stay as well as my master thesis. During my lectures at ETH, I've worked incredibly hard, and this was kind of the reward for it. So in January 2021, in the midst of the pandemic, I hopped on an almost empty aeroplane that brought me from Zurich via Frankfurt to Boston. And mind you, never have I felt better in doing what I was doing. I enjoyed the academic spirit, the lab culture, and the exchange between some of the world's top institutions and life science companies that form the biohub that is Boston. So what did I do there? At least since the end of 2019, all of us are very aware that diseases caused by pathogens, such as viruses and bacteria, can seriously threaten not only our health, but also global stability, job security, and solidarity within our communities. So I had the pleasure to be working on a US government prioritized project. For my master thesis, I was trying to find out how can we be fast at recognizing whether a new bacterium we get in contact with is dangerous or not. Some of you might say, well, what is this useful for? Can't we not just look at the bacterium, determine its type, and then know whether it's dangerous or not? Unfortunately, it's not that easy. So let us coin a dangerous bacterium as a bad guy. And a big problem in identifying a bad guy as such is that we don't even know all the bad guys out there. The ratio of yet undiscovered species dwarfs the known ones by far. And what we know is only the tip of the iceberg, and unlike real ones, this one is not going to melt away soon. Additionally, even if we know the bad guy, here represented by the bacteria with the devil's horn, confidently finding him wherever he is present is not an easy task, especially since many techniques rely on analyses that are performed on very big samples. Sometimes even, a bad guy can turn a good guy into a guy that looks good but is actually bad. So through a process called horizontal gene transfer, that is the transfer of dangerous DNA or genes from a dangerous to an otherwise harmless bacterium, a bacterium can turn into a bad guy. And this goes often undetected when we only look at specific characteristics of a bacterium. Making it even more complicated, sometimes the bad guy is a human that uses genetic engineering to create an even worse guy, whose pathogenicity is rationally designed and therefore even more difficult to detect. My approach was not to look at the bacterium as such and then gather information about it, but I wanted to teach immune cells to let them do all the work for me, and then tell me whether the bacterium they encounter is dangerous or not. So what I did is that I genetically modified human immune cells in a way that whenever they recognize a dangerous bacterium, they would start producing a brightly green fluorescent protein. This output was easy to track with a fluorescence microscope. I could hence measure how fast the immune cell starts shining green and how intense the color was. Together, this gave me a valuable information on the danger of the bacterium I was looking at. So, why am I telling you all of this? All of what I did in the past and what I did in my master thesis? Well, first of all, I was asked to fill a time slot of roughly 15 to 20 minutes, so hence all the details. But secondly, and actually how I would like to draw the circle, I am telling you all of this to show you that however erratic my path was from bank via mathematics to working with bacteria, every step in my life so far has heavily contributed to where I am right now. It is memorizing Latin phrases in high school that helped me develop strategies to memorize amino acids, cell types, bones, blood vessels, muscles, and innervation paths, which led me to excelling in basic biology exams in the beginning of my master's. In the sciences, be it natural sciences or engineering sciences, it is almost never a one-man show. Big projects can only be lifted by groups of collaborators. And my skills I acquired in advising clients on the bank that are communicating, listening, treating people respectfully on the outside when one is rather agitated on the inside, all of those are key to doing science in larger groups of people. My apprenticeship has taught me how to be a splendid communicator. On top of that, science nowadays is heavily focused on big data. Numerous conditions, many different time points, I'm sure you all know of it. Analyzing or simulating this data is only efficiently possible by using some sort of simulation algorithm or programming language. It is mathematics that has taught me how to read and write endless lines of code, only to realize that I missed a freaking curly bracket that makes my code fail all the time. So all my stations, even though the path to where I am is not perfectly straight, have helped me reach the point where I am today. And I would like to try to make you aware that what holds for me holds for all of us. If your dearest wish is to be an electrical engineer, a biomedical engineer, a quantum engineer, or an energy scientist, then congratulations, you have probably chosen the exact right degree that leads you to the job of your dreams. But if not, if you aspire to be something else, go into politics, start a business, be a journalist, whatever, then congratulations as well. You have chosen a degree that equips you with the skills that are just as valuable outside your field as they are inside. It is not what you did that leads you to achieve your goals, but how you use the skills you were taught and how you can incorporate them into solving new challenges. Last but not least, I have announced that there will also be some Swiss German in my speech, and those who were longing for this should not be disappointed. I have already mentioned that science is never a one-man show, and neither is getting a degree. Since most of you have brought your parents here today, to me it shows that their support was an important pillar in getting this piece of paper today. So I want to thank all the parents for their effort, their empathy and sympathy. Am meisten möchte ich dir Danke sagen, Mami, für deine bedingungslose Unterstützung auf meinem ganzen Weg, egal was es war und ob ich zum 12. Mal meine Richtung oder Ziel umgekrempelt habe. Auf dich, dass wir es geschafft haben, nur wir, über all die Jahre. Du hast mir das alles ermöglicht. Give me a break. Für alles, was du geleistet hast, bin ich dir unglaublich dankbar. Jede Person da rein hat einen riesen Applaus verdient. Für das, dass wir alle hart gearbeitet haben. Aber den hast du auch verdient. Danke. Entschuldigung. Sorry.
Okay.
Danke vielmals.
Beautiful. Vielen Dank. Merci.
Danke auch.
Dankeschön.
Merci.
Bis später. The final slide of Raphael's presentation. Let's celebrate. Well, give us a few more minutes and then we can really start celebrating. So now it's time to honor the very best of you, the ones that have achieved the best grades in their programs, the ones that have achieved outstanding master thesis projects. And for that purpose, I would like to hand over to Katja Abrahams from the PR team to read the names, and you will meet me in front of the ETH wall so that I can congratulate you on your success.
So we actually start with the ETH medal awarded to the best master thesis of a study program. And here you can actually see what it looks like. The ETH silver medal was designed in 1980 by Swiss artist Hans Erni, and it's still serving its purpose. So here we go. We start with the ETH medal in electrical engineering and information technology. Goes to André Adzic.
Okay. Congratulations. Well done. Well deserved. And well, we have a small present for you, of course. And please be.
Wonder what they're talking about. Oh, okay, they do the picture right now. That's great. Our next award winner is still in electrical engineering and information technology, Manuel Madlena. And the third medal for Kiveli Mavromati. Next is the study program Biomedical Engineering. The ETH medal in Biomedical Engineering goes to Alexia del Campo Fonseca. And in energy science and technology, we honor Katharina Kaiser. And for the very first time, we award a medal in our new study program of quantum engineering. And the ETH medal goes to Miranda Davis. We go on with the Willi Studer Prize, which is awarded to the best student of a master's program. In electrical engineering and information technology, we honor Nivetan Yogara. There's no medal, there's just an envelope. Okay, Willi Studer Prize in Biomedical Engineering goes to Raphael Schumann. And last but not least, in energy science and technology, we have a Willi Studer Prize for Christos Leontaris. Okay, that's it. Now I would like to hand over back again to Sebastian.
Yes. So, as announced, there will be a second presentation by one of you. And, well, it's our pleasure to have one of the awardees here coming to stage and on stage and present her work. Kiveli Mavromati got her bachelor's at Yale University in electric engineering, and then luckily decided to come to ETH to get her master's degree here. Now, she switched to industry, is working in industry and working on the next generation of the internet, on the Scion internet. So, Kiveli, if you have time, come over here. And we look forward to your talk.
Thank you very
Over
much.
to you.
I just want to confirm, can everyone hear me? Is it okay? Cool. I will not be defeated by technology today. So, good afternoon. My name is Kiveli Mavromati, and today, as it was said before, I will be presenting to you my master thesis. I am here to talk to you about how we are reinventing the internet. But first, why do we need to reinvent the internet? Is the current state really that bad? Research has shown that it is possible to manipulate Bitcoin traffic, trick certificate authorities to provide bogus certificates, and lead to substantial financial losses in the real world because of how the internet works. Currently, the internet is based on the Border Gateway Protocol, or BGP for short. When Alice wants to search for a funny meme, she connects to the website server using paths learned through this current protocol, BGP. I won't go into details about how this works, because I will definitely take more than 5 minutes, but I just want to stress out that BGP has several security and performance weaknesses. Specifically, anyone in the internet can maliciously pretend to be a different server and hijack some traffic. Additionally, a router can only select the next hop to send traffic and not the full path. Therefore, there is no guarantee that the traffic will follow the selected path to reach the destination. Finally, routers can only keep track of a single path for each destination. Therefore, we don't have any multipath capabilities, and it's really hard to optimize network performance. There have been many suggested improvements to BGP. However, they all require many changes to the current infrastructure and depend on full network deployment. And for this reason, they haven't really been widely deployed yet, even though they have been recommended years ago. Now we come to Scion. Scion is a next-generation internet architecture aiming to completely change the internet. Unlike BGP, it provides security by design, and therefore it can prevent destination traffic hijacking. Additionally, there is full path control, so there is a guarantee that the message will follow the expected path. And also with Scion, we have multipath capabilities. Therefore, we can improve the reliability and the performance of our network. Now, I mentioned before that previous improvements to BGP require full deployment to have any security guarantees. What can we do with Scion? In this project, we aim to develop a routing architecture that can select an optimal path to reach destinations based on a variety of optimization metrics in hybrid networks. Now, let's unpack this very packed sentence. S-Bus is such a hybrid network. Internally, S-Bus communicates using Scion. Externally, it communicates with other entities using BGP. With S-Bus, we can reap some of the benefits of Scion, even in stages of partial Scion deployment. At the borders of S-Bus, we have the points of presence, or POPs for short, which support both types of communication, and they can bridge the two networks, BGP network and Scion network. Therefore, with S-Bus, we can connect customers to Scion-aware and Scion-unaware entities in the network without the need for additional configuration. We have configured S-Bus to always prioritize routes through the Scion secure backbone, which can therefore improve security, efficiency, and latency. Now, I mentioned that Scion, and therefore S-Bus, provides multipath capabilities. That means that we have the ability to choose the path to our destination based on our choice of optimization metrics. In this project, we have provided the design for 3 different metrics, but our system is modular. Therefore, we can support any metric that's implemented. Our first metric is carbon efficiency. Essentially, we want to prioritize routes with routers in countries with better renewable energy infrastructure, therefore reducing the carbon footprint of routing. We have also provided designs for traffic hijack resilience using the ideas of the Pretty Good BGP paper, and latency, including physical router distance and real-time link congestion. I have evaluated the system using real-life data. We ran SBus on Scion Lab, a worldwide Scion-speaking research network, and I acquired real-life BGP information and paths from the RIPE NCC looking glasses and the peering framework. Finally, I evaluated the system for 250,000 distinct destinations. The most important result is that the carbon efficiency improved by over 20% in most cases, and it often reached values as high as 80%. For a third of the destinations, the selected path was via SBus, via the Scion Secure Backbone, improving security and carbon efficiency. For another third, the selected path was external, through the BGP network. However, even in that case, the carbon efficiency improved. These results are very encouraging. They highlight that SBus can allow us to benefit from Scion even in stages of partial deployment. With SBus, we can bridge the transition from legacy BGP internet to the next generation of the internet, Scion, in a secure and carbon-efficient way. Thank you. This concludes my presentation now. Thank you for giving me the chance to present my work and for honoring me with the ETH medal. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you for presenting your work.
Thank you. I hope it was nice.
All the best for you.
Thank
Here
you.
in Zurich, it is, right? So,
I do a lot.
okay, thank you. Thank you.
dear audience, now it's time to congratulate all master's graduates. And we are so happy to have you here because last year was so empty. There were just a few of you here with masks, and the year before, even less. So 140 graduates. I'm very happy to read all these names. Yeah, and my apologies for any mispronunciations. Okay, we start actually with electrical engineering and information technology. So I guess the first, yes, you can get up. First graduate, congratulations, Ankita Ahuja. Tolga Aras. Kerem Artuk. Nicolas Baumann. Baris Onur Bilic. Alexandra Bojic. Ivan Bosshardt. Ivo Brandt. Francisco Canales Perez. David Carminati. Second row, Ritika Chakraborty. Ninat Chaitnis. Silvano Cortesi. He or she is not here, so we quickly jump to Moritz Danninger. Simon Erne. Michael Ganz. No, sorry, not him. Marco Giordano. Can Gökbulut. Tim Gretler. Marvin Häberle. Jens Hauser. Nami Pierre Egmatz. Robin Hildgen. Julian Huwiler. Lorenz Kappeler. Imre Kertes. Gua Hao Kof. Markus Kieser. Yesim Koyas. Laurenz Kulmer. Sebastian Kurella. Timo Laxon-Leiter. Adrian Lang. Jovin Langenecker. Elias Lötscher. Yuhang Lu. Simon Maurer. Kiran Minacheri. Ismail Mert Meral. No, not you. Okay. Yannick Merkli. Lorin Mühlebach. Navel Nas. Selim Naji. Severin Pfister. Luigi Piccinelli. Lazar Rakic. Tobias Riedener. Leonardo Rodoni. Michael Rogenmoser. Andrea Ronco. Caroline Rossier. Philippe Rupp. Tiago Salzmann. Adrian Sarbach. Philipp Schäfer. Aurel Schmid. Marco Schmid. Lukas Schulthess. Samuele Serafino. Shengyu Shan. Luca Daniel Sieber. Flavien Solz. Kartikeyan Somasundaram. Matthias Stähli. Petar Stamenkovic. Severin Stolz. Matthias Stressle. Yannick Strümpler. Valentino Teraldi. Eran Ventura. Shenyang Wang. Patrick Wintermeyer. Simon Wintersteller. Yan Wu. Yang Xu. Alexander Zöchbauer. And last but not least, Hendrik Zillig. That was the biggest group, so the following groups will be a bit smaller. So we continue with biomedical engineering. One up. Christian Achim. John Ursin Alik. Anna Paola Beltraminelli. Walter Bernardi. Margherita Bernero. Georg Leonhard Brunner. Maximilian Calabro. Eylül Ceylan. Peter D'Almeida. Marina Echave. Dominik Eckemann. Ludovica Ferabolli. Erika Geneletti. Simone Hersberger. Nuara Imhof. Embla Johannesdottir from Iceland. Ines Oberhuber. Anuj Parikh. Alexandre Pereira. Luca Priccolo. Florian Riedel. Simon Rogler. Manuel Schweighofer. Ronja Sen. Pregash Sivenandaguru. Lucien Stöcklin. Lara Tenisch. Julia Zahner. Diego Zamagni. Doris Zauchner. Sophie Zengerle. And Sandra Zimmermann. We continue with energy science and technology. Reyhaneh Abutalebi. Luc Brinkmann. Ruihong Chen. Joël da Silva André. Vishal Gar. Philipp Hilsheimer. Gianni Hotz. Yang Lu. Ashutosh Pani. Julie Rousseau. Joachim Schäffer. Youssef Sherif. Carlo Tagioli. Petros Tatoulis. And Johannes Willenweber. And now we come to our pioneers in quantum engineering, very small group but growing. Alessandro Bruno. Xiaoxin Ding. Adityen Radhakrishnan. Yongsin Song. And our very last student to congratulate, Runse Zhang. Our cordial congratulations. So, I don't know, Sebastian, have you ever shaken so many hands?
No, certainly not. But I try to remember every one of you now. So I have you in my hands, in fact. Right, ich würde gerne auch ein paar Worte auf Deutsch sagen. Ich möchte Ihnen allen danken. Ich möchte insbesondere auch Ihren Unterstützern danken, der Familie, den Freunden, den Verwandten, all diejenigen, die Ihnen auf Ihrem Weg geholfen haben und die heute auch den Weg hierher in dieses Auditorium, in den Scherrer-Hörsaal gefunden haben. Herzlichen Dank, dass Sie mit dabei sein konnten. Wir sind noch nicht ganz am Ende, by no means. Ich wollte nur Sie alle beglückwünschen und ich freue mich sehr, dass Sie alle hier sind. Now it's sort of time to look forward, and many of you will spread around the country, around the world, and well, certainly we have an interest in seeing each other, seeing you again in the future, and there are of course instruments, tools that help us doing so, and we are now very pleased to have someone from ETH Alumni. That's an organization that helps you connect, helps you stay in touch. Now I would like to ask the representative who disclosed himself that he did not study electrical engineering, but mechanical engineering, but I think we can make an exception here and let him speak, right? So you will represent ETH Alumni, and I give you the word, please.
Thank you. So yes, my apologies for having studied mechanical engineering. Nobody is perfect. So my name is Janis Vaupel, and actually I was in the position where you are right now, or at that point of life, 25 years ago. I know you will not believe that because I look so young and attractive, but it's actually true. And actually, it doesn't feel like that for me either, because I've always remained in touch very much with ETH, and the ETH alumni are obviously perfect for that purpose. You have lots of events, so there are over 120 events organized by volunteers in the affiliate organizations all around the world. 30 or more than 30 events here organized by the office here in Zurich. And then when you join the ETH alumni, you actually have the possibility also to join various affiliate organizations. So these are kind of sub-entities of the ETH alumni. And it's very similar as the AMIF was a sub-entity of the VSETH. So it's the same structure. So there are three different types of affiliate organizations. One is by field of study. So here, first of all, I would like to, raise your attention to AMIF, obviously. You're all very welcome to join, and as it was the case for the student organization AMIF, the same is true for the alumni organization, so that's why I'm here. The MAVT and ITET departments are together. Yeah, so you're all very welcome to join. And for those of you who graduated in quantum engineering, you can also join the quantum engineering group if you prefer to be in a more intimate environment. That's also there. Then there's also there are other groups by field of interest. So if you were, for example, a member of the ETH Big Band, there's also an alumni group of the ETH Big Band, and so on. And then there's also a geographical network. So if you stay in Zurich and keep on living in Zurich, there is obviously a Zurich group. I myself live in Baden, so I'm also a member of the Baden group. And should you decide to move to Singapore, for example, or New York, you can join that group, okay? So lots of possibilities. And then there are, of course, also various further, let's say, perks and benefits from joining beyond the network itself. You will have access to the My Alumni platform, where you can also register for the events. But you can also access other benefits there. So I'll just give you a few of them. One, which is, I think, probably the most attractive, is that you can continue to buy computers at student prices, thanks to Project Neptune, which is still valid for the alumni. And there's further stuff like discounts on insurances. You can have a free credit card with the ETH on it. You can continue to use the ETH Language Center and learn languages. You can access the ETH library for free. You can get discounts on rental cars, on Volvo cars. There's career services, so there's a job platform with job offers, and lots more. Furthermore, you also get a lifelong email address at alumni.ethz.ch, which will forward to your private address or whichever you indicate. Then there's several publications, so you get obviously emails on events, you get a regular newsletter, and you also get the ETH Globe magazine. So that all continues. And to become a member, so another great thing, if you are up to 28 years old, the membership is free. And after that, it's only 70 francs. And for that, you can join up to 5 affiliate organizations. So, you know, obviously, I hope you will check AMIF as one of them, and any others that you prefer. If you don't, there's also the possibility to just be a direct member, but I'm obviously recommending to you to join the affiliate organizations. Okay, actually, I wanted to show you some photos, but I think this is not in this presentation here. So we, as AMIF alumni, we also do several events. So one would be like an after-work event, and the next one is actually next week on Wednesday, July 6th, at the Gainsbourg Bar here in Zurich. So you're all very welcome. Please enroll through the My Alumni system, because we need to know how many people come and have enough food and stuff for you. So that would be appreciated, but we're happy to meet you there. We have other events, such as online events introduced, of course, during COVID, which had the advantage also to engage also alumni around the world, and not just the ones here in Switzerland or in the Zurich region. So one of them was, for example, whiskey tastings, which took place even several times. And other than that, we visit lots of companies. So we visited, for example, an electronics recycling company. We visited Lindt & Sprüngli and had lots of chocolate there. We visited a ship that was under construction, or still is under construction, and is going to transport passengers on Lake Geneva. So we were in Lausanne for that, and saw the ship in the dock. And so there are many events like that, and I warmly welcome you to join those events, and hope to see you there. So other than that, you find all the information in detail also on the ETH alumni webpage. You also have a flyer of the AMIF alumni in your red bag with also more infos. And as you can see, ETH alumni have various social media connections as well. And AMIF alumni also have a LinkedIn group, which are also very welcome to join. So I will be around at the apéro. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me. And other than that, once again, my warmest congratulations. Thank you very much.
So, one step closer to the apéro, our reception. We just want to remind you there's also ETH Foundation. So if you one day become a very rich person, so you might consider giving back, making ETH even more powerful, even if you are not a very rich person, not a billionaire. So any small contribution helps to strengthen our education, strengthen our research. So you're invited to check out the webpage of ETH Foundation. So now, really the last slide, or the second to last slide, I would like to seize the opportunity to thank people, the people in the background who set up the show. Stephanie, Tabea, and Katja, of course, was presenting. Please stand up. Without you, there wouldn't be any flowers, because you know how engineers work, right? So they might buy flowers, but then forget them on the train and present with empty hands in front of their girlfriends or wives. Yes. All right. So many things have been said, many things have been exchanged now. I still have wet hands, so I would like to wish you all the best for your future career. I would like to wish you all the best for your private life. I hope you stay curious, you stay foolish, well, in that spirit, I hope you can join us during our reception, and I hope you keep in contact with your peers, with your fellows, perhaps even with the professors and lecturers here at ETH as you continue your travel in your private and professional lives. I should also mention there's now a photo shoot outside. That's correct, right? And then the reception will be offered in the lobby of the now famous ETZ building, so where we can inhale the spirit of Pauli and Einstein, at least for a second, but also could have a few drinks. So, the last little item on the agenda is music. Warm hand of applause to Musique en Route, playing the finale. And I hopefully see you later. So see you later.
Dear parents of the graduates, if you probably would find yourself in the miserable situation not having a proper present for your son and daughter right now, don't worry, we have it.